It's nice. You go up on the tram and it
Sounds
cool.
pleasant.
Yeah, it is.
I could use a pleasant day, although I'm a little allergic to pleasantness.
Yeah, that does sound like you.
This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Canada.
Hi, Anthony Carboni. What are we talking about today?
Well, we got a couple interesting articles about Facebook.
Oh, Facebook articles.
You know, the Facebook.
Oh, I do know it.
Sam Nolan sent one to us. It was a reporter in Wired who decided he was going to like every single thing in his feed for 48 hours because Facebook algorithmically, depending on what you like and what you don't like, decides what to show you.
Right.
So if you like something that a friend posts, not only will you see more things that friend posts, but you'll also see more things that are thematically similar to what your friend posted. And it doesn't matter if they post an article or a video. They could just write something like a status update like, I hate pizza. Right? Like. And nobody would like that in their right minds. But if you did like it, Facebook would look at that status update and be, hate pizza. Okay.
Pizza Hut ad. Here you go.
Yeah. Or nothing about pizza, right? Because they're pretty smart about that stuff. So this guy, over 48 hours, Matt Honan, just liked everything he saw on his feed. And he said it started getting weird almost immediately.
Okay.
A lot of people use Facebook as a sounding board and dumping ground for their political beliefs, religious beliefs, for venting. People just vent. People get angry and they post on Facebook. And so what happened was he started liking everything. And so Facebook looked at these emotionally charged, politically charged things that he was liking and just started giving him more and more and more of them.
And pushing it farther and farther to the edges.
Yeah, so that's the thing is you would think my initial, as I started reading this, was like, oh no, it's going to push it to some sort of crazy extreme in one direction. Like maybe it pushes him extreme right wing, right? And everything all of a sudden is about guns and, racism and guns and racism, right? Then it also pushed to the extreme left where it was all about, hatred and racism. It started giving him all of this stuff.
The algorithm was like, this guy loves everything. Just pump it at him. Give him everything.
But it wasn't just everything, right? Because it wasn't just giving him a lot of innocuous, here are pictures of my baby anymore.
Right.
There was something about the algorithm and something about the way people share things on Facebook that was amplifying the worst parts of us.
Well, it's weird that his position was, I am going to like everything. Mm-hmm. And the way the algorithm responded was feeding him super niche interests. Like, I like all things. Well, here's very narrow spectrum things that you'll like.
Well, because the job of an algorithm is to find the most salient point of anything.
Right.
And then give you something that's even more of that thing. The first time he clicks on something that's a thumbs up for something political, it goes, okay, political. That sort of political, that sort of story, that sort of political story. Okay, that's a personal freedom story. That's a right to bear arms story. Okay, so I'll just give you another right to bear arms story. And then because that's all Facebook is putting in your face, you just start getting more and more extreme versions of that same thing. Right. So the second you like one thing on Facebook, it kills thousands of possibilities of things that you could be seeing on Facebook, right? Because that's what the algorithm does first.
Yeah.
The first thing he liked was the thing that set everything in exponential motion. It was the butterfly effect of Facebook.
It's so interesting that deciding to like everything immediately makes you not be able to like everything.
Yeah.
You can only like some things when you start with, I want to like everything.
And that's kind
of crazy.
It's crazy and it's scary and it's representative of a large part of our personalities too. If you decide that you like something, if you consciously decide that you really enjoy comic books.
I do.
Right?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you become a comic book guy and you become steeped into comic books and you know everything
that's trademarked by The Simpsons.
Sure. But you can't be a comic book man either because of AMC.
Yeah.
But
it's tough. It's a tough place to live.
You're a comic book enjoying person.
Oh.
No. Nah.
Trademark, we have concerns.
Yeah. But because of that, you start digging deeper and deeper into that, right? You dig deeper and deeper into that interest, and then you become somebody who knows the minutia of that interest. And just by spending time with comic books, you are choosing not to spend time with something else.
Girls.
Sure. In a lot of cases growing up, I think I can relate to that. But no, like if you spend 8 hours a week reading comic books, that's 8 hours a week you're not going to see concerts, right? That's 8 hours a week you're watching TV. That's 8 hours a week you're not in real life, we're kind of like that algorithm. But
unless you're a Renaissance man.
But you can choose to change the algorithm in your real life at any time.
Mm-hmm.
The difference with Facebook is Facebook decides what you like, and then that's what you like. And what's crazy is the feedback loop that happens, right? Because if you like a bunch of comic book related stuff on Facebook, and then Facebook shows you nothing but comic book stuff, that becomes your internet. It becomes hard for you to go, well, I don't want to see comic book stuff anymore. Facebook is not going to show you something else unless it just randomly pops up for you on Facebook, and then you change that direction. The problem with media curation and these algorithms is that they force you to stay who you are at any given time.
Yeah.
They don't give you any room for personal growth.
It's really scary to think how the selection of information that you get and feeding the niche, feeding reinforcement of opinions you already hold, pushes you farther down this hole of insulation, and you no longer are getting outside influences that might challenge your opinions. That's really, I think, the creepy thing for me.
So that kind of dovetails into the second article that Eric Trapp sent into us, which is a Maureen O'Connor article in New York Magazine. Do you hate Facebook or do you hate your life?
Can't it be both?
For me, yes. I would like to think that I hate Facebook and my life equally. Maybe Facebook a little more, because they just keep separating into more apps.
So what's the thesis of this?
So the thesis of this one is we think we hate Facebook and we think we hate social media.
Mm-hmm.
And more people are like, I've got to unplug from the internet and, get my head right, or I feel so much better after 3 days of not going on social media.
Right.
Which, I don't know, man, whatever. I have my addictions. Fuck off. I'm not going to stop opening Twitter just because it's bad for my psyche.
Listen, I remember when you said that about MySpace and Friendster.
I'm going to say it about everything. I'm never going to take my phone away from my face. I don't want to interface with real people. They're scary and complicated.
I have this tape of Anthony Carboni from 2002. Man, I'm never not going to be on MySpace. MySpace forever.
You can't take away my Friendster. So the idea of this article is because Facebook encourages these extremes in us, not just in the things that we like, not just in the things that it shows us, but we tend to be different people on social media than we are in our lives.
We present a version of ourselves.
Exactly. And one thing that she was talking about was how in the lower times of her life, the times where she was depressed or there wasn't a lot going on, she would post a lot more kind of hyperbolic things about small wins in her life to make it seem like everything was going cool, or maybe to make herself feel a little better, or to show
I got that parking space.
Yeah, suck it. Hashtag best parking, hashtag parking rules, hashtag parking queen. Because you do that, you present this false version of yourself, and then people respond to that false version of yourself. You put something out there that is not really you.
Or is only a fraction of you.
Or is only a fraction of you. Or is only something, maybe you're partially kidding. Maybe you just partially need an ego boost. Maybe whatever reason. We're not posting these really deep kind of introspective, real, genuine things about ourselves. But what happens is we see our friends and our family and our social circle as real people, as deep people, as people who are important to us. But their responses are based on what we're putting out there. So they're responding to a surface level version of you, and you read those responses as a response to you.
So what you're saying is the effect of this is very similar to the first article in the sense that you start going down this rabbit hole of getting further and further away from anything.
You're algorithming yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And
Stop algorithming yourself. Stop algorithming yourself. Stop algorithming.
You're making me do it.
Stop algorithming yourself.
You're making... Mom!
What? If I have to come down there and turn off the Facebook...
Jeff is making me post political things and stuff about wrestling. Mom!
My life's just better than yours. My life's just better than yours.
Stop
My life's just better than yours.
My relationship with the internet, just because...
It's mostly sexual.
It's mostly sexual. It's mostly one way. It's mostly me...
And very brief.
Yeah. Mostly me having sexual feelings for the internet. The internet, not really returning them, but going through the motions. I work on a lot of projects that are internet related, right? So a lot of my stuff that I put out on the internet is self-promotion. So for me, I feel like there's a wall between me and the internet. I don't share a lot of stuff about me that's really genuine. I share kind of weird and funny stuff on Twitter or whatever, but I kind of don't see the internet as a place in a lot of ways to have extremely real interactions with people. And so I find the internet to be like social media to be this sort of necessary evil.
You don't use it as a communication tool for people you love in your life? You don't use it for old friends or extended family or any of that? You don't?
Not really. If I see something in my feed from somebody that I know, like they just had a baby or they just got married, I kind of, I'm always like, congratulations or whatever. But it
then
never.
You're like, please visit my YouTube page.
Congratulations. This reminds me of an episode of D News. Hey, if you guys need to get home from the hospital, use my Uber promo code. Anthony is a monster to get 20% off your first ride. I just don't see it that way. And because I have to post a lot of professional stuff, when somebody gets a little too personal with me on the internet, like a friend of mine responds like extremely personally to a self-promotional thing, it weirds me out because it's two worlds colliding that I don't like. I get mad. I don't know why I get mad. I just get mad.
That was a great video, Anthony. I'm deeply in love with you.
Get the fuck out of here, dude. But it'll more be like, oh man, that's so crazy. Hey, what have you been up to lately? Like it's been a long time since we, were in high school together, like in Mrs. Johnson's class. I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to have this conversation with you.
That's
people
too
are
personal. The like common point of history.
Yeah, because like. If it's a response to like a video that I did, man,
it's in the wrong place.
It's in the wrong place. And then it's like, I have two options. I have an option where I can respond to that person on that video. And then it's just like everything that I give out from then on is personal information to that person.
Right.
Or I can ignore that person and then I'm a dick, or I can privately message them, but maybe they're not even somebody I want to interact with that much. Because I really haven't. Because I haven't really seen them since high school, and then if I put a message out there, that's like an invitation to really deep conversation.
Listen, just
what's coming out is I'm just like, just watch my show and remember me fondly.
Sadly, that's your tombstone. Watch my show and remember me fondly.
Get 20% off the Uber ride home from the cemetery. Hashtag Anthony is a monster.
If you want to post something.
No, I mean, a lot of it is my own hangups, obviously. But I guess what I'm saying is social media does not do a lot to fix those hangups. It only does a lot to amplify those hangups.
Well, I think it's like anything else. It's how you use it. And I totally see where you're coming from. But I also feel like, it rubs both ways. It's an amazing bridge. The idea that children growing up today will never, ever, ever need to lose track of anybody in their life. They will just accumulate people that they know and never lose track of them. That's a profound difference. They're just accumulating friends with the quotation marks around it.
Yeah, but that's the thing is it's friends with the quotation mark around it, right?
Right, but how neat is it that you will literally only expand your network of acquaintances? Maybe they're not actual friends, but you never will lose track of people.
For me, it becomes almost a sad thing. It used to be that you go to summer camp with somebody, best bros during summer camp, and it's like awesome, and that's like
where I have that girlfriend that you never got to meet because she was only at summer camp.
I'm just saying, dude, you don't really have a picture of the two of you together.
Well, we didn't. Nobody was kind of taking.
It's just like a picture of her.
Yeah, she's hot though, right?
I mean, she is, but also at the bottom of the picture, it says a cotton jersey sweater, $39. What does that mean?
That was her nickname. Hey, cotton jersey sweater, $39. What's up? And she was like, I love you deeply.
I'm going to let you have this.
Thanks, man.
Okay. But I'm also going to say that at the end of summer, that guy disappears, right? Maybe you read a letter. Maybe you live within an hour of each other and your parents meet halfway at a McDonald's or a Chuck E. Cheese or something. And you guys you hang out twice, right?
Uh-huh.
And then that person kind of goes away. And it's kind of nice to think about that person. But with Facebook, that person is still kind of around.
Right.
So you don't have that nostalgia of them, but you do kind of there's something more sad to me about my relationship with that person devolving into thumbs upping each other's photos until death.
Why? You lose wistful remembrances of times past, but you actually have this person, and maybe they grow into
People
something
aren't as good as the wistful remembrances of them.
Maybe they can be. Maybe he becomes
No, they mostly
something.
post racist stuff.
Well,
because I went to summer camp in Florida.
Well,
mostly that dude was pretty cool, but then he either grows up to be like a racist real estate developer or a guy who makes bongs in his garage. And there's
Are they mutually exclusive?
There's nothing wrong with either of those guys. It's just like, man, he was much cooler at 12.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have hung out with Garage Bong 47.
And then that's the thing, is Garage Bong 47 is just posting this shit and like by thumbs. Excuse me, that's him right now. Hey, man. No, I think the bongs are great. Yeah, I'll buy 3 bongs.
Super awkward, man.
And a condo.
Your 4th bong is free when you buy a condo.
If this guy keeps posting stuff and it becomes like kind of shitty stuff or stuff that you don't really care about, but you feel an obligation because of the friendship to kind of thumbs up things, well, then Facebook starts showing you more of this guy, right? And then it's more stuff that you don't care about. And if he posts things that are a little weird and you thumbs them up, Facebook looks at those weird things and then just starts sending you more weird shit and weird sponsored shit. And so by trying to hang on to this relationship, which is essentially empty at this point, you are algorithmically creating a worse world for yourself.
Okay, step 1.
Yeah.
Meet fewer racists.
I can't help where I grew up. I meet a lot fewer racists now. I mean, so many fewer racists now.
Well, that's good. You've accomplished step 1.
But my formative years were mostly dumb and racist.
Well, I don't think that we should throw out the baby with the Garage Bong water. I think that it is...
Save that Garage Bong water and you season that bong with it.
I feel like these wistful remembrances can actually turn into people that populate your life in really interesting ways. And maybe because you linked in with them at 8 when you were at summer camp, and later on in life they become
a proactive kid
help
on
you.
LinkedIn at 8.
Hey, man.
What is he? Future Business Leaders of America?
Isn't that the summer camp you went to?
No. Sounds like we had radically different summers.
Oh, it was
I went to Future Militia Members of America.
We rode in boats across the lake and divested our portfolios.
Took junk bonds and wove them into friendship bracelets.
Exactly.
That sounds nice. I couldn't tell anybody at camp that I was Jewish. So that's 2 very different.
You're being real right now, right?
I'm being real. I actually
serious.
am. I didn't tell anybody at camp that I was Jewish because I didn't know how it would go.
Let's get real.
Yeah, okay.
What the fuck?
I mean, I probably would have been fine, but I would have had to hear a lot of Jew jokes for the entire week, and I just wasn't into that.
Yeah. And usually Jews telling the jokes.
Jews telling Jew jokes to other Jews is kind of, I mean, it's like anybody from a specific social group. But this was like I would have told these kids that I was Jewish, and it would have been a lot of stereotypical Jew jokes and real kind of like lame shit.
Did you have fun despite this, or were you in a constant state of, I don't really want to be here?
It was fun. Like I made a lanyard. Like it was cool. Yeah. I shot 22s. I went down a rappelling wall. Yeah.
You shot guns at camp?
Yeah, dude.
We definitely went to different camps.
That's what I'm saying, man. Florida's a different world.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a reason why algorithmically I don't want Facebook to be.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
There are different perspectives, and so now I think I'm pretty guarded about my Facebook to the point where people get a little weirded out because we met at E3, we met at PAX, we met through a work thing, through a friend of a friend.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna friend you on Facebook. No, because I take the word friend very seriously. We're not friends yet.
Anthony Carboni's literal Facebook page.
Dude, it says friends.
And it also says poke.
It doesn't say...
So get over here.
Get over...
hurting me.
Super poke. Look, I'm on Twitter. If we want to just spit random shit at each other, that's totally fine.
Right.
Facebook is friends. It says friends right there. If you're not my friend, dude, don't fuck my algorithm.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Is that weird? It's kind of weird.
Well, it's a little aggressive and maybe a little defensive, but it's okay.
But that's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
Can I bring up something else from this article that I found really fascinating?
Yes.
This is that first article about liking everything. And it starts with this quote from Andy Warhol that I'd never heard before. Maybe you have. I think everybody should like everybody.
Yeah.
But what's even more interesting is that he defines liking everything as being like a machine. That when you like everything, you are doing one thing over and over, which by definition is what a machine does.
Yes.
And that you become a machine. So in effect, what this guy was doing in this experiment by liking everything is that he was becoming a machine as he was interfacing with the machine. So he's having this like...
And it's like when you have two chatbots talking to each other.
Right.
And they start going in circles.
Yeah, it's this inherently masturbatory experience of trying to interface with an algorithm and becoming an algorithm at the same time. Because you're only doing this one repetitive thing that is devoid of humanity.
Yeah.
That's pretty trippy.
And that's why, Jeff Cannata, when you say you like liking things... I have to be...
I don't mean it in this context.
I have to be the Saruman to your Gandalf. And I have to tell you, like, dude, there's a little room in that heart for hate. Just a little room in that heart for hate.
Well, I'm not saying I don't have any hate for things. I'm not saying I don't dislike things. I'm saying that the experience of loving things is the experience
overrated.
I love most.
No.
That's what I like. That's the experience I like to have.
Yeah.
I like something... I like liking it. It feels awesome to find something you like.
But I think there's a difference between genuinely liking something and then liking something on Facebook. And I think that's why my interaction on Facebook is so sterile, is because I do feel like it is number one, it cheapens and falsifies your sense of relationships and what relationships are. And number two, just by liking something, by telling Facebook that I liked a single movie, it's going to pollute my day with irrelevant ads and strange things, and it's going to start warping what I see in front of my face every day.
So you're saying don't like anything.
I'm saying I'm a very passive Facebook user.
Yeah.
I think that's important. I kind of guard it because Facebook is a necessary thing. Like if I'm not on Facebook, I don't know when my friends' birthday parties are. I don't know when things like that are going on, right?
Yeah.
So
don't get me started.
I have to be there. My mom's on Facebook. My aunt, my uncle, they're on Facebook. They share family photos. Like that's
right.
So I have to be there, but I have to be there the same way like people with Geiger counters have to be in Chernobyl, right? I'm wearing the protective suit. I'm getting in, I'm getting the information, and I'm getting out without contaminating myself or the area around me.
Facebook is one of the world's greatest disaster
Facebook
scenes.
is New Vegas. That's Facebook. I don't know. How do you guys feel about Facebook and social media? How do you feel about these articles? Do you believe them? I'm at A Carboni on Twitter.
And I'm at Jeff Cannata on Twitter. I'm also on Facebook.
Don't fucking around. Don't you fuck around. Also, hey, I know we've mentioned this multiple times this week, but I hope you guys don't feel like we're harping on it too much. We should
harp on it a little more.
We're going to harp on it a little more.
Yeah.
We started a Patreon for the show. If you're not familiar with Patreon, it's a way to give like a monthly donation for creative projects that you enjoy.
This is the only way we're funding this show. This is the way we're trying to make the show move forward.
Yeah,
and happen for a long time.
We've been approached by some wonderful people who want us to be part of a network or who want us to run advertising. And we think that those things are cool, but we kind of just want to see.
We like it like this.
We like it like this, and we hope that you do too. So go check out the Patreon. It's patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.
Yes. If you find it in your heart to be able to help us out, please contribute.
Share it on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, that's
with
great.
all your friends.
And like it. Bye.